Look in your fridge right now. There's a good chance you'll find milk. You probably drank some this week. Maybe in coffee, cereal, or a glass. It feels completely normal. But step back for 1 second. You are an adult mammal drinking the milk of another species, and that is deeply strange. Think about every other animal on Earth. A kitten drinks its mother's milk. A puppy drinks its mother's milk. A baby elephant, a baby whale, the same. And then every single one of them stops. For nearly every mammal alive, milk is strictly a baby food. The moment they're weaned, it's over. Their bodies simply switch the ability off. You will never see an adult lion hunting down a cow for a drink. You'll never see a grown wolf sipping milk by choice. It would make them sick. And for most of human history, the same was true for us. Here's the part that surprises people. Most adults on Earth today still can't properly digest milk. Across much of Asia and Africa, drinking a big glass of milk means cramps, bloating, and a bad time. That isn't a disorder or a defect. That is the normal human default. The strange ones, biologically speaking, are the people who can drink it, and that includes a huge chunk of people in Europe and beyond. So how did that happen? How did one weird animal start drinking milk for life from a completely different species when nature designed us to stop? The answer is one of the clearest examples of human evolution we have ever found, and it happened shockingly fast. To understand it, you need to meet a tiny molecule called lactase. Milk contains a sugar called lactose. To digest it, your gut needs lactase, an enzyme that breaks lactose apart. Every healthy baby produces lactase. That's how they survive on milk. But here's the twist. In most mammals and most humans, the gene for lactase quietly switches off sometime after childhood. Evolution saw no reason to keep it on. After weaning, no animal drinks milk again. So why waste energy making the enzyme? For millions of years, that logic held. Then humans did something no animal had done. Around 10,000 years ago, we started farming, and everything changed. As humans domesticated cattle, goats, and sheep, a strange new resource appeared. For the first time ever, adult mammals had a steady supply of fresh milk sitting right in front of them. There was just one problem. Most of those adults couldn't actually drink it without getting sick. But evolution doesn't plan ahead. It simply rewards whoever survives and reproduces. And somewhere in those early herding populations, a few people were born with a tiny genetic mutation. That mutation did something rare. It kept the lactase gene switched on, even into adulthood. These people could drink milk their whole lives without trouble. At first, that might sound like a minor perk, but in the harsh, ancient world, it was a life or death advantage. Picture a brutal winter where the crops have failed and stored food is running out. The people who can't digest milk slowly starve, but the ones who can have a herd of animals producing a fresh drink every single day. Milk is packed with calories, protein, and fat, and crucially, it's clean fluid when water might be unsafe. In a famine, that single ability could be the difference between living and dying. So the milk drinker survived a little more often, and had a few more surviving children. Those children inherited the same mutation, and the cycle repeated, generation after generation. This is natural selection caught in the act. Scientists studying the human genome have found something striking about this trait: lactase persistence, the ability to digest milk as an adult, spread through dairy farming populations faster than almost any other human trait we know of. In evolutionary terms, a few thousand years is the blink of an eye. Yet in that blink, entire populations went from mostly milk intolerant to mostly milk tolerant. And here's the truly fascinating part. This didn't happen just once. The mutation appeared independently in different parts of the world. In Europe, in the Middle East, and in the cattle herding regions of Africa. Different populations, different exact mutations, but the same outcome. And it was driven by the same pressure. People who kept animals for milk. It's a textbook case of what biologists call convergent evolution. The same solution evolving more than once, because the same problem keeps appearing. This is why your ability to drink milk is basically a map of your ancestry. If your ancestors came from a long line of herders, you very likely carry the mutation. You can drink milk without a single thought. If they didn't, your body is simply doing what mammal bodies have always done. It shuts the enzyme off after childhood, exactly as nature intended. Neither one is broken. One is just the original human setting, and the other is a recent upgrade. And that word recent is what makes this story so remarkable. We often imagine evolution as something frozen in the distant past, finished long ago. But lactase persistence proves that humans were still evolving in a major way just a few thousand years ago. That's well within recorded history. The pyramids already existed while this gene was still spreading across populations. In other words, Evolution didn't stop when we became human. It kept editing us, quietly, in real time, and it almost certainly hasn't stopped today. There's one more twist worth sitting with. The thing we treat as the most ordinary, wholesome drink is actually a kind of evolutionary trophy. A simple glass of milk only makes sense because of a desperate gamble made thousands of years ago. Our ancestors tamed wild animals and took a baby food that adults were never meant to drink. And over countless generations, they rewrote their own DNA to survive on it. Every time you pour milk into your coffee, you're using a biological superpower. It's one that most mammals, and even most humans throughout history, never had. So the next time someone says drinking milk is the most natural thing in the world, you'll know the truth. It's one of the strangest things our species ever learned to do. And the only reason you can do it without a second thought is that somewhere down your family line, an animal that was never meant to drink milk did it anyway, and lived.